The word tariff has become a buzzword right now. According to CNN, President Trump just announced a 90-day pause on the reciprocal tariffs imposed on countries except for China, which will lead the tariff to increase to at least 125%. How China's reaction is going to be and how it's going to change the world economically and politically. Firstly, I'd like to invite 鲍威尔, a young professor at Queensland University of Technology, to join our interview. Will Trump's reciprocal tariff measures cause the economic turmoil and accelerate the reconstruction of the international economic and political landscape?
Donald Trump's reciprocal tariffs announced recently will have significant repercussions across the configuration of global supply chains. But it's important to keep things in context. The fact of the matter is, the United States market contributes no more than a little under 15% to global imports. And what that means is that the United States market is, frankly, nowhere near as important as it once was. The leverage that the United States economy has over the economic systems of the rest of the world is limited, certainly so compared to what it was like 20 to 30 years ago.
What will the world supply chain work in the future?
The rest of the world will no doubt need to adapt and adjust. Supply chains that were once calibrated to service the American market will reconsider their focuses and the markets in which they will prefer to operate.
So how about China's supply chain?
Chinese manufacturers and other firms will find markets elsewhere. The fact is, over the last decade and a half, the trading configurations of the world have changed. The growth of the global south has exceeded the rate of growth that we've seen in the G7. Trade in these other countries will organically enable countries like China and other exporters around the world to find new markets over the next 2 to 3 years. Various economic analysis and estimates suggest that most of the world will adapt and adjust and in effect fully compensate for the loss of the American market within 3 years. Some places will achieve that even quicker because their exposure to the American market is actually relatively minor.
Okay, let's warmly welcome Professor Shen. She's an associate professor at School of International Studies in Sichuan University, and thank you for joining in. So after I heard the answer from Professor 鲍威尔, and I just want to ask for both of you, as the global multilateral cooperation mechanisms that the world has worked hard to build facing collapse, especially the Asian countries?
I think the Trump's administration will definitely accelerate the shattering of geopolitical structure worldwide. As for the Asia-Pacific region, I think the regional security architecture will be changed dramatically and swiftly by Trump's unpredictability. This sort of unpredictability will make the Asian country feel more insecure. And of course, they will have the urge to be prepared for a region without the US in the region. The regional security architecture we have seen in the past few years are moving away from the hub and spoke systems that used to be built by the US. Nowadays, we have it will move to a more multilateral security cooperation, and this process will definitely be accelerated and reinforced by this sort of unpredictability that we have seen in the past few days from the Trump's administration.
My last question is for Professor 鲍威尔. How is China going to do to prepare for the upcoming future?
China's 34% tariffs is likely to result in China becoming a preferred destination for many goods produced in other parts of the world. Multilateral cooperation mechanisms will actually be strengthened as a result of the interventions of the Americans. Countries around the world understand that it is through collaboration, coordination, and cooperation that they can achieve peaceful economic development. China, as a great enabling nation, is in a central position to support this transition and to ensure that countries around the world continue to benefit from multilateral trading and the investment flows that come off the back of that.
Thanks for both professors joining our interview, and we will keep the things updated. Thank you for watching.